Okay. Good evening. Please turn off your cell phones. Welcome to the June 16th, 2021 regular meeting of the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission. Steve, would you do the roll call?
Steve Wright.
Here.
I'm President. Steve Littlefield. Greg Moon's absent. Marty Cogan is absent. Maggie Haight is absent. Randy Maddox.
Here.
And Tommy Zerneman.
Here.
We have a quorum for business. The Eureka Springs Historic District Commission is empowered by the Eureka Springs Municipal Code to issue a certificate of appropriateness for alterations of exterior architectural features, demolition, and new construction within the boundaries of the Eureka Springs Historic District. The HDC uses Eureka Springs Historic District guidelines and the U.S. Department of Interior standards for the rehabilitation of historic buildings as the basis for decisions. The Commission can take the following actions on an application: approval, approval with modifications, denial, or deferral for more information. Appeal of denial may be made to the Circuit Court. Public comments will be heard on each agenda item as it is called. Other public comments are best addressed to the City Council. Are there any changes or additions to tonight's agenda? I have one addition. I would like to put on discussion of guidelines updates.
Second.
All in favor, say
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay. And then do I have an approval of the agenda as presented?
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Steve made the motion. Tommy seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Old business, we have none. New business, Level 2, 14 Fairmont. New shutters and window box, replace garage door with French doors, Zermanim. Kylie, would you please do the staff report?
The property at 14 Fairmount is a brick ranch-style residence constructed in 1969. The applicant is requesting a certificate of appropriateness for the installation of plank shutters on 2 front windows, the installation of 2 window boxes on 2 front windows, the material was not specified, and the replacement of a single bay garage door with French doors. In evaluating this request for alterations at 14 Fairmount, staff makes the following findings of fact. The property is 52 years old and historic in its own right. The property's non-contributing status is based on a 2005 survey of the district, which placed the 50-year guideline at 1955. Proposed alterations to the facade are temporary in nature and could be easily removed without damage to the historic material of the structure. Shutters and window boxes should be anchored in the mortar rather than brick to assist in the protection of historic material. These additions are in keeping with a ranch-style home. Proposed removal of the single bay garage door and replacement with French doors will result in a change in material that's minimally visible and impactful to the public right away. The proposed alterations align with the standards and guidelines, and staff recommend approval of this agenda item. Applicant should be advised to install any bolts or fixtures into the mortar rather than the brick.
I'm not sure why we're covering this since we can't vote on it.
Well, we didn't know that till kept hoping he'd walk in the door. Because we did not have notification that Greg was not going to be here. He told me he was going to be here.
I move that we postpone this until we have enough commissioners here to make a quorum. So.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Well, we can't even vote on it because Tommy's our
You can
fourth.
oppose, Tommy.
Oh, well. This is the second time we've had to postpone Tommy's, so I guess
Sorry
we're
about
going to have to see about having a special meeting or something to get this.
Can we have a virtual meeting?
I don't know how to do that.
Can we send out the packet, Kylie, like you just sent to us, this? And you know how we voted during COVID? They would do that, and then we had a meeting, but a lot of them did Skype, or we had our packets and we voted.
I mean,
Because Greg was at the last meeting, so he saw it.
my only point is that whether we're all sitting, and we've all come to discover this in our work, and this, whether we're all sitting right here or we're all looking at each other in a Zoom or a Teams meeting, we are effectively able to accomplish the same thing.
Right.
And we could do this tomorrow so that, we can get on with this. You can get on with this.
Thank you, Randy.
And if that's protocol, if that's cricket, then, I would think we should entertain that.
Yes.
Sorry.
We've got.
Do you need me to repeat anything?
So we'll just have to, Kylie, can you see how we can make this happen tomorrow, what we need to do, and tell us?
Yeah,
We
I'll
get
check
this.
into it and see what our options are for a virtual meeting. We'll have to make sure that it is still available to the public.
Yeah,
So I'll have to double check on public notice and see timeline-wise when that can work, but I'll get with you all and schedule that.
because we had one commissioner get sick just basically at the last minute, and we have
okay.
another one that's out of state getting ready for surgery, and will be off the commission for a few
Dee?
weeks.
I don't know whether this goes to you or to Kylie, but can she do the shutters and the window boxes?
Oh, we could break, well,
is that?
can
would
we
that be
take
an
it off and
administrative
put it
thing?
on administrative, and you,
I think that would be appropriate in this case and just table the garage door because
Okay.
that is the more invasive
Yeah.
alteration.
and we do that many times, we'll split them and vote separately.
Does that help you, Tommy?
Yeah, the garage door
Okay.
is something that'll be the tail end, Charlie, of the whole
Okay.
thing anyway. I'd
that
like to get
works.
the shutters up, and as far
Okay.
as the materials go, it's number 2 yellow pine, primed and painted.
Okay, let's go, well, we'll add it here in a second. Administrative approvals by our city preservation officer, applications for repair and work involving no changes in materials, plus changes in roofing, paint colors, and sign. These are all level 1s, and our first one is 14 Fairmont exterior paint. We're going to also add the new shutters and window box, and this is Zernerman. So we're moving that from that application down to the administrative approval where she already had approval for paint. And Kylie we can give her her slip tonight. Kylie can give her the administrative. Okay, our next one is 135 Spring Street, re-roof using R-panel material, Palace Hotel, A&M Roofing. And I know your papers say AEM, but that should be an and symbol there. 42 Prospect, paint mural on rear retaining wall, previously approved by HDC 8719, 2019. Project postponed due to the COVID-19 scales. 104 Wall Street, repair curb, rear parking lot, Stacy Mirhan. 53 Vaughn Street, repair concrete drive, Stacy Mirhan. Approval of Commissioner businesses, approval of minutes, June 2nd, 2021, and we can't vote on that. We don't have, Randy was absent, so we'll have to postpone that for a quorum. Approval of new signatures on the bank account. we need to add Kylie to this is our checking account that, somebody left to HDC many years ago. So we need to put her on there, and we need to add Maggie, and I think just to be safe, well, I'm on there, but I guess we have to redo it, so add myself, Dee, and Steve, our secretary, and that way we should always have 2 signatures. Could I get a motion of approval on that?
I move we approve the signature changes as you stated there.
And do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
aye? Any opposed? Okay, motion passes 4-0. And also, discussion of guideline updates, and I'm going to let Kylie talk on this just a moment, what she's going to do, because we had done a workshop, if you guys remember, and go ahead.
So it's my understanding that we still have grant money available to hire a consultant to assist with revising the historic district guidelines that we use. Glenna had been working on this before her retirement and had put out essentially a request for proposals from different consulting firms. She only got 2 replies back. So I would like to put out another request for proposals and try to get some different companies sending us some feedback and see what we can do there, and then I will select a consultant to come in and help us with this.
And previously, we had voted unanimously at the table to do this, and then we had a workshop and started working on it ourselves. So do we need to make a new motion for Kylie to go ahead on?
I thought we are.
we
approved.
we approved that once, but then Glenna kind of went back for us to do it. And Kylie thinks we should have a professional come in, and then after they give all their recommendations, then we start meeting and working on it, which makes sense to me.
Does
So
to me too.
I think our last, since we did vote once, I think we're okay there to go.
But is the only missing piece that we should vote on Kylie finding a firm and officially hiring them first?
I don't think it would hurt to make a new motion and just to protect ourselves.
Then I move that Kylie should be authorized to put out an RFP to firms that, to a number of firms that she thinks is appropriate, cast as wide a net as she feels like is appropriate.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Randy made the motion, Steve seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Our next meeting will be July 7th, 2021. Level 3 applications are due Thursday. June 24th, Level 3 applications due Wednesday, June 30th, 2021.
Level 3? Level 3.
Level 2
Level 2, I'm sorry.
on June 30th, yes.
And Commissioner comments, Steve,
Nope, I don't have anything. Stay cool out there.
Tommy?
I do have a comment, and it may fall in line with what Kylie's fixing to do here. Being the newbie on the block, I just need some clarification. I'm not making any objections or anything, but what I don't understand, and I've had several friends and loved ones since I've been on the commission ask me to ask this question. When someone comes in asking for approval to paint their house, is that just the front part of the house? Shouldn't the house be painted on all the sides of the house? And there are any number that I can think of right off the top of my head, including one that's behind me. This is just the back of, go ahead.
No. I have only a tad of information about that because I just bought the Heart of the Hills Inn, and the previous owner said, sometimes in these Victorian houses that are painted in a very complex way, just the expense of doing that is so great that they will paint one side of it with all of its detail, and then maybe the next year or two paint another side of it. So it's an ongoing, it's like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. You start
Yeah.
at one end and you make your way.
I understand that,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. But what it does is, to the tourist walking by, they've got this lovely little front facade, and the neighbors on the other side have to look at all the peeling paint and all that. And to me, that depresses their property value when you have to look at this piece of stuff over here.
And in that case, I wouldn't say it's the issue of painting one side and not the other. It's the issue of the other. There's a, right?
Yeah, I think if somebody's going to come and ask that their house be painted, the house needs to be painted, and that includes all four sides or ever how many sides. And as far as expense goes, I'm sorry about that. They knew what they were buying.
Yeah.
And so I have that I would like to know where this commission stands on that. And then as far as murals go, I understand in the day there were Coca-Cola signs and, you know, all that sort of stuff on the advertisements on the side of buildings, which I think is very charming. But I'm not sure that murals with flowers and that sort of stuff on a retaining wall or on sidewalks, how historic is that? So and so I guess I'm asking, does this commission ever have a workshop where you discuss those kinds of things? So I'm just looking for some clarification.
We don't do color.
Well, but that doesn't have anything to do
We
with
just,
murals and.
yeah, we
the
want
whole
people to
site.
come in so we can put it at least in the folder, so 50 years from now, we know what colors the houses were over the years for people.
It's an interesting
that's
area to get into,
Yeah.
because if someone came to us and got a certificate to do anything and just didn't do it, they're not forced, obligated to do what they're asked to do, even if I'm replacing my porch and I just don't do it. It's not like I'm in violation of a
Well-
contract or something, so.
And there is one house that's been forever being painted just in spots.
I can think of two houses that have had the fronts painted and the backs have never, it's been years. and
Yeah.
been-
years
Well,
and
this
years
one
and-
started on the side and started, I don't,
So I think it more down to if someone's not painting their house and it's, you know, nice, it's getting bad, basic deterioration, then it's something that you can report to the city code enforcer to say, this is, a house is starting to be neglected.
and that might fall under the new guideline updates too. This person that's coming could give us recommendations on that.
Well, one question that I would have about that, though, is what of that question is in our jurisdiction and what of it is a code issue? I mean,
I'm afraid it falls in the code.
Falls under
I think it
code.
falls in the code. Like Tommy,
Right,
right now,
this is-
if you didn't do your boxes and stuff, no one would show up and say, you're in violation, you didn't do your boxes. You
Yeah.
know, you
but
asked.
having your house in disrepair from a painting perspective,
Right.
that's
Well,
not an HD, that's
I'm
not a
going to
historic
interrupt this because we're in commissioner comments, not,
Right.
so this is just each one of us. So we can put this on the agenda to talk more about next time if we
Yeah.
find out more information.
I would like that, because
Yeah.
like I said, I'd just like some.
Yes.
And I'm not the only one. I
Right.
mean, there's plenty of citizens who've come to me asking these questions, and I certainly don't have an answer for them and I wish I did, but I don't, so I'd like some clarification.
So let's just put it on the agenda for next time,
Okay, cool.
and then we can discuss it. Randy, do you have comments?
I want to welcome Kylie. I think just the brief conversation that I've had with her, hearing her background and what she's bringing she's bringing, you know, an outside perspective that's just been active and apart from this community. So, you know, Glenna's work spanned a lot of years and was great for this town. You see Glenna everywhere you look in this town, and that's wonderful. It's also great now, though, that, you know, Glenna's moved on to other things, that we have someone here who I think has a set of qualifications that I think is going to serve us well, and that is going to inspire us to make sure that we're really doing what we're supposed to be doing.
I ditto, Steve.
Yes.
I mean, Randy, I'm sorry. I did a
You can call me whatever you want.
Other guy.
But I don't want Steve to have credit for
And
that.
my comments are the same. Of course, I welcomed her here last time, but I am very excited with the new agenda, how Kylie's changing them, and I'm just very ditto to Randy's. I mean, I'm very excited.
Well, thank you. I'm really happy to be here and work with you guys.
Great. So do I have an adjournment?
I move we adjourn.
I second.
Steve made the motion, Tommy seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Was that an opposition, Steve?